Welcome back to This Week in Wyoming Cowboys Athletics here on wyomingathletics.org and ESP Media powered by Sidearm Sports. I'm Jason Griefer. Jeff King, Assistant 88 Wyoming, joining us here once again. Jeff, obviously a very exciting time, very busy time of year as most of our spring sports are now transitioning into the postseason. A couple still have some regular season business to handle, but most eyeing the postseason at this point right here. And let's start off with a pretty big one coming up this week. Both your track and field teams going for CHL championships here. And this is a very tough league. I know I've spoken with Marymount AD Tom Nurl, and he's spoken about too the quality of athletes on track and in the field events is so high in this level. Going to make a very, very worthy champion, whomever that may be. Break down this event for us, and how do you see your teams going up there and performing in this competitive field?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be super competitive. We have like you said, so many good athletes in this league. But as we've talked about throughout this season, you go through the leaderboards. At our CHL website, you see a lot of Wyoming names up at the top. So we're feeling really good about where we're at right now. I think if you look at it, we kind of have a mix between the first through third place where we can kind of be at. I kind of see where we fit, but we know we have the ability to come in first in a lot of events and hopefully get a lot of people on top of those podiums. And then as a team, we'd love to see a top 3, top 2 finish. Definitely, the abilities there. We got a lot of really good young talent. I think we will see some good names up on the top of a lot of podiums, but definitely some good top 3 finishes.
We talked about a couple of names early in the season, and I wanted to get your thoughts on the progression of them throughout this season. That's on the girls' side, and 2-year freshmen in Zoe Mayberry and Zoe Cook, and the results they've continued to put up all season long. We talked early in the season about how they're freshmen, and maybe they're not maybe they don't know they're not supposed to be this good this early on, but they keep putting consistent results in. Week after week, meet after meet. What's it been like for you and the coaches to watch their progression and their maturation through their freshman seasons?
They're both just so fun to coach. They're so fun to be around. They're definitely wise beyond their years. You would never guess that they're 2 freshmen, the way that they handle practice, the way they handle preparation, the way they interact with their teammates, especially even the upperclassmen. They're looked at as leaders already. But what's so special about both of them is no matter what sport they've played throughout this year, you can see that they go through the tough challenges, the preparation with a smile on their face, and they're always looking to get better, and they've continually got better. So like we mentioned earlier in the year, those are 2 names you're going to want to remember throughout their high school career. So definitely going to be excited to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully some hardware coming home this week before we head into the postseason at the OHSAA level. Let's switch gears. Let's jump onto the tennis courts because we finally have arrived at sectional week. Obviously, we know about the draws. Everybody's been able to see those for more than a week now. After continued training and I get game planning and so much as you can for this sectional right here, and getting a sense from either just eyeballing it yourself or talking to the coaches or talking to the players, are they looking at the singles or the double side is giving them the best chance to make a deep run in the sectional and maybe even get out?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. We actually talked to Coach yesterday, and he really liked the draw for both of them. When it comes to the doubles, we have a lot of young talent playing some of those double tournaments. So it's going to be a big stage for some of them, but I think that we're looking to get out there. We're preparing well. I think who knows what can happen on that. We can definitely see some winning some matches and hopefully advancing there. And we think Mark Keller on the singles side, he's got a good shot to win some matches. I think we have some singles that we look at it that we can hopefully get some people advancing a couple more rounds.
Switching gears, let's talk about boys lacrosse. It's been a tough year, and it's been tough to try to find some positives in a year where just very little has gone right for this team. That turned a little bit this past week. They finally were able to get into the win column. You go to overtime to beat Madeira 9-8 and come back 2 days later with an impressive 11-2 win over Carroll. The CCD result on Monday, that's a tough one. CCD is always very good. I'm wondering, before we talk about the postseason matchup and the regional opener against Turpin on Monday, how big of a relief was it for these boys to finally get one under their belts? And did they even have a sense of laughing that they had to go to overtime to get that first one against Madeira?
It was super exciting to watch to win on that sudden death overtime. It was just a gritty, tough win, and it was one that we needed. We executed really well. It was definitely seeing a lot of bright spots. They continue to play tough and tough and tough. Really good, tough lacrosse. It's just come down to we execute a little bit better against Madeira. We executed a little bit better against Carroll, and you saw that. You see flashes of some really good talent, some good things that are being done in those two games. And then, like you said, the CCD game. I mean, they're a really tough team. They always have a tough program. We played them really tough for the nice first half, and they came out, guns blazing there in the second half. So CCD had a really good second half, and we just couldn't kind of keep up with them. But as you mentioned, over the past week and a half, we saw some good bright spots that we've been looking forward to this whole season for the boys lacrosse program.
Now the regional draw is on the horizon. The opener comes next Monday. You're going to get Turpin for the second time this season. You played back on April the 9th. They took it to you pretty good, winning that one 13-4. So you look at the way things shake out now. It's been over a month since they've seen Turpin. Turpin, though, has been struggling as of late. They've lost 5 of 7 going into this final week of the regular season in the regional right there. Are they looking to take anything from that game back in early April and apply it to this? Or are they trying to treat this as a whole new opponent, given the fact that it's so long ago that they played that one? Wyoming's playing a little bit better, and Turpin's been scuffling.
Yeah, I think we definitely go back and look at the game, look at the mistakes that we made, as well as in other games, and then build upon that. But then build upon, winning the last 2 out of the last 3 that we've had, and knowing that when we execute and we take advantage of some of the things that we can do well, hey, we can play with them. And it's hard to beat a team twice. We're going to come out. We're going to come out tough. They know we're going to come out tough. So we're looking forward to that one Monday night, looking forward to seeing what these guys can do, and hopefully make a little bit of noise.
Over on the girls' side, they've really been playing very, very well as of late. They've won 5 of 6, lose a tight one to Marymount, 13-9. That's a really tight matchup. Marymount has state championship aspirations. So to hang in there with a team that good, that's really good, I would think, for the long term on this season. But we still have some work to take care of this week to close the regular season. Scheduled matches in the ECC with Anderson, and then also on Thursday with ECC champion Loveland. So you're going to get a really good test right before the postseason begins there with a really strong Division I team in Loveland there. You're going to get McNick in the regional on the 20th, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that next week when we wrap up the spring sports season podcast here. What's been the key during this last stretch right here? And also your thoughts on the bounce back ability after the Marymount loss to come out 2 days later and basically take St. Ursula behind the woodshed and beat them 15-2.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough loss, like you said, against a really good team, because we felt very prepared. We knew that we could beat that Marymount team. We knew we could play with them. But like you said, it's great teams find great ways to win, and that's what Marymount did that night. But then we think we have a great team too. And you see that when we bounce back and we have such a great kind of little stretch there. But then also we're going to be playing 2 really tough teams here tonight and then Thursday night. We do that, I think, did that on purpose, because now we know we're going to be very prepared against some really tough competition going in against a McNick team, starting the playoffs. And we have an opportunity to make a nice run there in the playoffs, and we're excited about it.
One of the young ladies I wanted to get your thoughts on here, and I'm going to let you actually play a little bit of politician, if you will, is Sophia Dick and the season she's had. She leads the CHL in goals with 49. She's 6th in assists, 3rd in caused turnovers. Make your pitch for as Sophia Dick being the ECC Player of the Year.
She's a leader on and off the field always. She's put together some stretches that you look at her stats, and you're like, no one's been able to guard her, and she's just really done such a great job leading that team and making sure that day in and day out they're prepared. You look at her numbers, she's got to be up there with anybody. I think the CHL, when it comes down to Player of the Year, you can't find a better one than Sophia Dick.
Pay attention, CHL. Let's switch gears and let's talk about softball. And not a too shabby way to close out the regular season here. in beating Marymount 21-1. Of course, it came off the loss against Taylor 3-0. We talked last week about the pitching staff that Taylor has and the way it's shaping up. They're set up for a very, very long run. But now the focus turns to the postseason for your team. You're going to get New Richmond this coming Thursday to open things up. If you take care of business there, you're likely, barring an upset, you're going to get Baden in the sectional final. What have the coaches been able to try and learn about New Richmond over the weekend and leading up to that, and trying to put a game plan together and ultimately to try to win that game and likely, as I said, get Baden in a sectional final?
We know they're a really good team. Obviously, we're going over there as the lower seed, so we have a nice challenge ahead of us. But I think the past couple of weeks have really prepared us well playing those Taylor teams so close. The talent level on that Taylor team, obviously everyone knows that they're fantastic, but we were able to hang with them, especially that second game there, knowing that we can play with anybody. We're feeling really good about going into New Richmond, taking it one game at a time, taking it, one day in preparation at a time. So we're excited about where we're going to be. Hopefully we can put some bats on balls and, have some good pitches, play some good defense, and we'll see where we come out there Thursday night.
Was that Marymount game maybe just taking some frustrations out on Marymount, given the fact you were shut out the night before, so you put up 21 against Marymount?
I think it was a new game, and we knew that we knew we could play with Taylor. We obviously coming off of a tough loss like that, but we were definitely ready to come out and show that we're still a really great softball team. Excited about having one of the better seasons we've had here at Wyoming in recent memory. So it was one where, hey, things were clicking for us. It went well, and we're really excited about the postseason now.
As we're winding down the show here, I have to mention here, as we record this through Zoom and we have a video podcast version of this, I have the Wyoming website up behind me, and you see the headlines scrolling behind me for those who listen to this in audio form. And there's something new that's up there on the front page of WyomingAthletics.org, and it's something about the baseball team winning its first league championship in 14 years. After beating Marymount 6-4 on Monday. A 5-run second inning winds up being really all you need to take care of business right there. Brag on your league champs this game and then the celebration after.
We're just so excited for him. I mean, Coach wants what he's done with that team this year. It's really hard to win, the string of games that we won. Some of them in that Indian Hill game, that we talked about going in extra innings. They're just a really gritty team, and they went into that one last night knowing, hey, look, we're here to win the CHL outright. There's nothing else that we want to do. It's the first time since 2007. That group of kids is really, really special. And what they've been able to do, not having a season last year, preparing for this season, all through the offseason, even though a lot of them play other different sports, they always, being able to have a baseball season, they're super excited about it. They're ready to play anybody, which you can see from our non-conference schedule as well. Couldn't be happier for them. So excited about where we got, I think we're happy about our draw. We're excited about the postseason. But hey, we want to finish out the regular season strong and go into the postseason knowing that I think we can make a little run.
I'll ask you about the postseason here in a second, but this will also today, I'm going to try to make it the last time I ask you about Brennan Pagan. And I'm going to ask you once again to play politician and make your case for him being the CHL baseball player of the year. And let me give some numbers here to back that up real quick. He's third in the league in batting average. He's batting 500 on the year. He's tied for fourth in homers. He leads the league in RBIs with 30. He leads the league on the mound in strikeouts with 47. He's tied for the league lead in wins on the mound. And oh, by the way, he has an ERA of 0.57.
I mean, you listen to what you just rattled off right there, and it's sure sounds like someone who needs to be winning some awards at the end of a season. It's that kid we talk about a lot. It's hard to even, we don't have enough time to talk about how great of a student athlete, how great of a leader he is, setting the bar for everybody coming up behind him. He's been so much fun to work with in every capacity. So super excited for him. He's got a lot of big things to look forward to in his life. Hopefully this would be one of them. I think it'd be a great thing for him. But he's the leader of that team, and he's doing it on the mound. He's doing it in the field. He's doing it at the plate. So we're just super excited to see what he's able to do with that team, and we'll see where he can take them.
Check. Let's talk about now the postseason and the way things start out here. Your team has drawn the 2 seed in the region, thanks to obviously a very strong earlier season. It warrants such a high seed here. You're going to be in round 2. You get a first round bye, and you're going to get the winner of Bishop Fenwick and Norwood. And obviously that's going to be a challenge there. It's just funny how things work out. Again, we've talked about this in the fall. We talked about it in the winter, and I'm going to bring it up here in the spring. You might see Indian Hill once again in the district semifinals if they're able to beat Batavia and you're able to win your first matchup there in round number 2. It just you two just can't seem to get away from each other. It may work out there again. Just take me through the coach's thoughts on the draw in general, and also the way you feel it sets up for your team to potentially get to a regional.
Yeah, I mean, we feel good about it. Obviously, very happy to get that 2 seed. We got to get through after we get through that bye week between Fenwick or Norwood. We got to get through that game. We can't overlook anyone looking ahead. But like you said, I mean, hey, is it the postseason if we're not talking about a possible Wyoming Indian Hill matchup? It doesn't seem like it anymore. So, but like I said, it's one game at a time. We know we're going to get either Fenwick's or we're going to get Norwood's best shot. And postseason baseball, hey, that anybody can beat anybody. So it's going to be a tough road, but we like where we stand. We like the talent we have on the team. We like the leaders, and the coaches are doing everything they can to prepare that team to make a run.
At what point do you just shake your head and laugh at it and say, of course, we're at or nearly paired together with them again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great rivalry, so it's definitely good for our league. It's good for the sports. It's always great competition. We play good competition all year, so it's exciting. It's something that you know what, that's without rivalries, a lot of times, hey, look, sports will be a lot less exciting. So we're looking forward to it, but hopefully we take care of business the game before.
Well, it took care of business in the CHL, winning it for the first time in 14 years. It also puts your school in a really good place as far as the all sports trophy goes in the CHL, as that's winding down here in this season here. I'm going to try and see if I can take a peek at that right now. Right now, going into the spring, you were sitting on top about 6.5 points ahead of Indian Hill, and the winning the leagues in baseball is certainly going to help it, along with some of your other finishes that you've had thus far. But nevertheless, a lot of great stuff here again. Once again, we will wrap up the spring sports season next week. Jeff King will be back with us one more time to put a bow on the spring sports season of this week in Wyoming Cowboys athletics here on wyomingathletics.org and ESP Media, powered by Sidearm Sports.